Hello everyone, Genki here, and today we're going to see if I can beat Pokemon Violet with my Alcremie. Alcremie is my second favorite Pokemon, and my Pokemon Sword with only Alcremie challenge remains my third most watched video. Alcremie is pure fairy, and has a 495 base stat total. She is very heavy on the special side, with 110 special attack and 121 special defense. 60 attack is pretty decent, but since we won't be investing in it, it might not be useful to use physical moves. 65 HP and 75 defense is pretty decent bulk, but we get a move that makes Alcremie even more bulky. More on that in a second. Lastly, with some EV investment, 64 speed is pretty decent. By level up, Alcremie starts with Tackle as its only attacking move, and it stays that way until level 15, when it learns Draining Kiss. Alcremie naturally gets Charm, but what my eyes are glued to is Acid Armor. Acid Armor boosts Alcremie's defense by 2 stages every use. We're going to be very tanky. Alcremie's only other special move it learns is Dazzling Gleam, but I think that's okay. Draining Kiss's health absorption can carry us quite far. By TM, Alcremie learns a lot of status moves, more fairy moves, psychic moves, and grass moves. She also learns Drain Punch, which I am hoping is going to be our saving grace against Poppy. However, other than that, Energy Ball, Psychic, and Calm Mind are really the only moves I will actively be pursuing. Time for the rules. I can only use Alcremie in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. Alcremie is an item evolution, so we can trade ourselves an already evolved Alcremie. I named her Caramel, after the Alcremie from my Sword challenge. She's lax nature, so more defense, less special defense. With 120 base special defense, we are definitely gaining more bulk than losing it. Her ability is Aroma Veil, so moves and abilities that limit move choices like Torment or Taunt don't work. We got Caramel up to level 10 in the challenge Nemona, but Tackle alone was just not covering it. Our incredible bulk was carrying us hard. Quaxly was a 4 KO, but part of that was because we got hit with Growl. This made Palmy also a 4 KO. However, it was the crit from Palmy that did Caramel in. With Caramel at level 12, we still got hit with a Growl, and Quaxly was still a 4 KO. However, this time, Palmy never got crit. Caramel did get paralyzed by static, but with 7 HP to spare, Palmy went down. We can't enter Mesogoza and start our journey, starting with the Bug Gym. Fairy resists Bug, but Nimble Struggle Bug can lower our special attack. However, Nimble and Tarantula were both one-shots. Teddiursa survived Draining Kiss at half health, but its Fury Swipes were no issue. It went down the next turn. Time to hit East, where we challenged our first Titan, Claw. Claw went first and used its resisted Rock Smash, while our non-terror boosted Draining Kiss did a third. We then terrestrialized, and as Claw went for a second Rock Smash, Draining Kiss now took it straight to red health. This activated Claw's Anger Shell. However, Claw wasted his turn on block, so it went down. Time for phase 2. Claw went for a Rock Tomb into Arven's Shelter, doing almost half. Terry boosted Draining Kiss, then did only a quarter. Shelter's Water Gun was also doing good damage, so as a second Draining Kiss activated Claw's Anger Shell, Shelter's second Water Gun took Claw to red health. Claw used his last turn to attack Caramel, but she was still at full health, so it was not enough and Claw went down. I decided to now grab the TM for Calm Mind, before going and challenging our second gym, the Grass Gym. Petalil knows Sleep Powder, however, it never used it, as we set up a Calm Mind. Petalil and Smoliv were then one-shots. Sudowoodo survived the hit, going for Trailblaze. Despite the speed boost though, Caramel still went first, so we took no more damage as we finished off Sudowoodo. Next is our second Titan, Bombardier. We never healed at the Poke Center on the way to Bombardier, so we did not have access to terrestrialization for this battle. However, it didn't really matter, as Phase 1 Bombardier was a 2-hit KO. For Phase 2, Bombardier led with Torment, which was negated by our Aroma availability, as Drainy Kiss still did almost half of Bombardier's health. Arven's Knockley then went for Rock Polish, twice. So as Bombardier barely survived our second Drainy Kiss, Arven's Knockley outsped Bombardier and finished it off. Time for our first Team Starbase. We went for a Calm Mind, as Giacomo's Poniard's Metal Claw did almost half of Caramel's health. It was a one-shot though. Giacomo's Snarl has nothing it can hit hard with, so it chose to spam Wicked Torque, as Caramel destroyed it with 2 Drain Kisses. Off to 11th Sea, where we have our next Nemona battle. We set up a Calm Mind as Rockruff used Double Team. We still landed our attack though, and one-shot Rockruff, as well as Palmy. Last is Quaxwell. It outsped and used a weak wing attack, as our turret boosted Drainy Kiss took Quaxwell to a sliver. Caramel apparently had a speed tie with Quaxwell, because the next turn, she outsped and finished it off. Time for the Electric Gym. Watcher went first and hit Caramel with Spark, as we set up a Calm Mind. A second Spark left Caramel paralyzed, but a single Drain Kiss took out Watcher. The paralysis allowed Bellybolt to outspeed, but it can't hit that hard, so we set up a second Calm Mind before taking it out. Lexia was just a straight one-shot, so last is Mismagius. Mismagius went for Hex, but since Caramel was at +2 special defense, it did less than a quarter. Caramel went through a full turn of paralysis, but then on the next turn, she finally landed her attack, which Mismagius survived in red health. The Drain Kiss brought Caramel back to full health though, so we had no problem finishing off Mismagius. I decided to challenge the Water Gym next. Caramel now had access to Acid Armor, which we set up before going for Calm Mind. Velosa survived Drain Kiss with yellow health, so we set up a second Calm Mind before finishing it off. Voltria was an easy one-shot, but its GUI did lower her speed. This allowed Chromonomal to outspeed, and do a third of Caramel's health with Crap Hammer, but it was a one-shot. With Kofu's Veluza needing 2 Calm Minds, I decided to finally do some EV training. I bought the Powerlands and had Caramel grind on Mareeps to boost her special attack. We did this until Caramel had 100 special attack. We then took on the Team Star Firebase. We set up an Acid Armor, as Torko's Flame Wheel only did a scratch. We then went for Calm Mind, as Torko went for Clear Smog, erasing all of our stat boost. We went for Calm Mind again, as Torko's Flame Wheel took Caramel to half health. With +1 special attack, Torko was a 2 KO. Last is Mila Star build. The Star build led with Screech, as we, funnily enough, went for Acid Armor, nullifying the Screech. Torko's drought then ended, as the Star build's Blazing Torque did like a quarter. With the Star build not doing that much damage, we set up a second Calm Mind, but then Drainy Kiss only did a quarter. The Star build went for Screech again, but its Blazing Torque did exactly 30 HP. The Star Barrel went down in 4 total Drainy Kisses. I decided next we should try our third Titan, Earthworm. Earthworm has Iron Tail, but it never used it, as we set up 2 Acid Armors. Earthworm still proceeds to not use Iron Tail, as we set up a Calm Mind and then used Drainy Kiss, which took out Earthworm in 2 hits. For Phase 2, we again managed to set up 2 Acid Armors, but then Earthworm went for Iron Tail in the Arven's Toad School, which went down in 1 hit. We set up 1 Calm Mind, but this time, we went for Dazzling Gleam, which left Earthworm on the 3rd. Earthworm still refused to use its only super effective move on Caramel, so it easily went down. We're definitely not ready for the Team Star Poison Base, or Iron Treads, so it's off to the normal gym. Kamala missed its initial slam, and then went for Yawn, allowing Caramel to set up 2 Acid Armors and a Calm Mind before going to sleep. We set up 1 more Calm Mind before attacking, but Kamala survived Drainy Kiss on a sliver. We finished it off the next turn no problem. The Dunsparce was a one-shot with Dazzling Gleam, so all that was left was Staraptor. It outsped, but its facade did very little, as our Dazzling Gleam one-shot it. With 5 badges, we now have a battle with Nemona. As Lycanroc decided to spam Accelerock, I had Caramel set up 1 Acid Armor and 2 Calm Minds. Drainy Kiss then one-shot Lycanroc. Like Lycanroc, Palma outsped Caramel and went for Spark, which of course got a first turn paralysis. Palma was still a one-shot though. The process allowed Gumi to outspeed, and its water pulse got a first in confusion, because of course it did. This caused us to take confusion damage, and a second water pulse, but Gumi was a one-shot. Last is Quackable. Caramel survived Aqua Step, but because we got fully paralyzed, we lost the battle. I decided to try again. This time, we went for 2 acid armors before taking out Lycanroc. Pommel this time decided to use Thunder Wave, so we still got paralyzed. However, Gumi was no issue, so we were battling Quackable at full health. This time, we did not get fully paralyzed, so a single Dazzling Gleam took out Quackable. Let's try Iron Treads. Let's not try Iron Treads. How about the Ghost Gem? We immediately terrestrialized. Mimikyu and Bennett led with Shadow Snakes, so Magikarp went down as we set up a Calm Mind. We then got an Omni Boost from the crowd. We went for a Giga Drain into Bennett, but it survived the hit. We had Giga Drain because of Iron Treads. Oh, and we were holding leftovers. Bennett and Mimikyu got a speed boost, but thankfully our following Dazzling Gleam finished off Bennett, and broke Mimikyu's disguise. Though Caramel was now at almost half health. A critical hit slash from Mimikyu took Caramel to yellow health, but I had Caramel use Giga Drain, which Mimikyu survived. Houndstone vanished for Phantom Force, but I had Caramel set up an Acid Armor. This allowed Caramel to survive Phantom Force to yellow health. We did take another big crit from Mimikyu, but Dazzling Gleam took out Mimikyu and Houndstone. The battle was now 1v1 against Toxtricity, but Dazzling Gleam took it out. With 6 badges, we have another battle with Nemona. I decided to buy the Clear Amulet to negate Lycanroc's Sand Attack, which it used first turn, allowing us to step in Acid Armor. Lycanroc did switch to Rock Slide, but we got in a second Acid Armor, and 2 Calm Minds. It was a one-shot Drain Kiss. Giga Drain was only useful if the opponent was weak to Grass, which technically Lycanroc was, but oh well. Almost like Deja Vu, Palmont went for Thunder Wave. It was still a one-shot though. Sliggoo again went for Water Pulse. It could not do that much damage though. We got fully paralyzed twice, but Drain Kiss just brought us back to full. Last is Quackable. It was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. Time for the Psychic Gym. We set up an Acid Armor against Fergarath, since it's a physical attacker. We then set up 2 Calm Minds before taking out Fergarath with Drain Kiss. Gardevoir outspec Caramel. It did some chip damage but was a one-shot with Dazzling Gleam. His Bowther also got in some damage, but we one-shot a Drain Kiss. Last is Florges. It survived Dazzling Gleam, but it was only doing a little damage from Moonblast, so it went down the next turn. Okay, now let's try Iron Treads. For some reason, Iron Treads went for its resistant knockoff twice, as we set up 2 Acid Armors. Iron Treads just refused to use Iron Head, allowing us to set up 2 Calm Minds, and 2-shot Iron Treads with Drain Kiss. For phase 2, Iron Treads led with Stomping Tantrum, doing a third to Caramel, as Skavilla used Scary Face, and Caramel used Acid Armor. 2 Fire Fangs from Skavilla took Iron Treads to almost half health, and burned it. I, on the other hand, had Caramel use the second Acid Armor and a Calm Mind. I then for some reason had Caramel set up a second Calm Mind, as Skavilla took Iron Treads to red health. Don't worry, I made sure Caramel finished off Iron Treads. That was one of the weirdest Iron Tread battles I have ever had. Skavilla usually gets one shot by Stomping Tantrum. Anywho, we now have to face the Poison base, but I wanted to prepare. I had Caramel grind for speed EVs. We only got the 96 speed because we maxed out Caramel's EVs. Hopefully that's enough. And yes it was. We started the battle by setting up Misty Terrain. Misty Terrain prevents status afflictions, like Toxic. This caused Skuntank to spam Venoshock, which was not doing that much damage. We set up 2 Calm Minds and 2 Acid Armors, before finally taking out Skuntank with Drain Kiss. Against Muk, we set up 2 more Calm Minds before taking it out. This is because Rev Room doubled Riz's Fairy, and at plus 4, it survived Drain Kiss at a sliver. Caramel took some chip damage from Iron Head, but Rev Room went down. leaving only the Starmobile. The Starmobile's noxious torque did only a little more damage than the Red Room's Iron Head. It also poisoned Caramel, but that didn't matter as the Starmobile was a 2KO. Time for the Ice Gem. We snapped 2 Calm Minds as Frostlawn set up Tailwind and did a throw with Blizzard. We snapped an Acid Armor as 2 more Blizzards took Caramel to below a third. But a single Drain Kiss took out Frostlawn. The Tailwind then ended, allowing us to easily one-shot Beardick, Titan, and Altaria. That's all 8 badges. Time for our final Titan, Dondozo. We could only send up 1 Calm Mind, because Aqua Tail did half of Caramel's health with 1 hit. However, our Draining Kiss did half of Dondozo's health. And because Caramel outsped, Dondozo went down first. Time for phase 2. We still only set up 1 Calm Mind, but this time, Dondozo attacked Greedent. We then went for Dazzling Gleam, which did over a third. Greedent's takedown then took Dondozo to below half health. This caused our next Dazzling Gleam to take out Dondozo. Next is Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri led with Muddy Water, doing a third of our health, as we set a Calm Mind. A second Muddy Water took out Greedent. We went for Drain Kiss, but I forgot to Terrestrialize Caramel, so the attack only did a third. The next turn, we Terrestrialized, and that caused Draining Kiss to take Tatsugiri to low yellow health. Tatsugiri switched to Icy Wind, but the speed drop was not going to help it, as 1 more Drain Kiss took it out. Time to finish the Team Star bases, starting with the Fairy base. We started with 2 Acid Armors, as Azumaro's Play Rough could not do that much damage. We then set up 2 Calm Minds before attacking. Azumaro survived Draining Kiss on a Sliver, but again, it couldn't hurt us very much. Against Wigglytuff, we set up a 3rd Calm Mind before taking it out with Dazzling Gleam. Dashmon outsped, but its Play Rough was weak, so it easily went down, leaving only the Starmobile. The Starmobile Steel Roller took Caramel to below half health, but then our Draining Kiss did the same to the Starmobile. The Starmobile then went for Confuse Ray, and we did hit ourselves once, but the Starmobile's spin out could not do that much damage, so it went down. Last is the Fighting base. I didn't want Toxicroak to poison Caramel, so we went straight for attacking. However, Toxicroak survived our Dazzling Gleam, allowing it to use Poison Jab, which poisoned Caramel anyway. We had to switch to Draining Kiss thanks to the poison. Airy for some reason sent out Passimian second, so we got back to green health. For Annihilate, as it outsped and took Caramel to half of close combat, we went for Acid Armor. This allowed Caramel to easily survive a second close combat, and one-shot Annihilate. Lucario also outsped Caramel, but went for its resisted Aura Sphere, because for some reason it doesn't have Flash Cannon. This allowed us to set up 2 Calm Minds before taking it out. Last is the Star build. It was a one-shot. Time for the Elite Four. We set up 3 Calm Minds and a single Acid Armor against Wishcash, who within that time had gotten Caramel to below half health. It was then a one-shot Drain Kiss. Camerupt was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. Donphan though survived Dazzling Gleam thanks to Sturdy. Because of Acid Armor, its Iron Head still left Caramel in green health. Donphan went down the next turn. Dugtrio outsped and set up Sandstorm, but we still landed our Dazzling Gleam, leaving only Clodsire. It was also a one-shot. Next is Poppy. I had a plan, but I wanted to try with how we are currently. We started with an Acid Armor, but then Camparage's Heavy Slam still did half of Caramel's health. At plus 2 defense, Heavy Slam still does over half. Time to initiate our plan. I made Caramel Terra Normal. This allowed her to set up 2 Acid Armors and a single Calm Mind. Also for this battle, I had Caramel learn Drain Punch, but because of our very little attack investment, it only did a third to Camparaja. We set up 2 more Calm Minds, but because I replaced Drain Kiss with Drain Punch, I had to finish off Camparaja with Drain Punch. Corviknight survived Dazzling Gleam with yellow health, but its Brave Bird didn't do that much damage. I decided to have Caramel set up another Calm Mind, before finishing off Corviknight. And then another Calm Mind against Bronzong, who was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. However, Magnezone survived Dazzling Gleam thanks to Sturdy, allowing it to set up Light Screen. After Magnezone, all that was left was Tinkaton. It outsped and got a crit with Stone Edge, as I decided to have Caramel use Drain Punch. It only did a quarter. Tinkaton did quite a lot of damage with Gigaton Hammer, as a second Drain Punch took Tinkaton to a quarter. A third Drain Punch took out Tinkaton. Who wants to bet a +5 Dazzling Gleam would have taken out Tinkaton in 2 hits? Next up is Larry. We set up 2 Calm Minds and an Acid Armor, as Tropius used Sunny Day and spammed Solar Beam. It was a 2-hit KO with Draining Kiss though. Staraptor outsped, but its Brave Bird did less than a third, so we easily took it out. Altaria is part Dragon, so it was an easy one-shot. Oricorio outsped and used Teeter Dance, confusing Caramel, but Caramel did not hit herself and took out Oricorio. Last is Famigo. It went first and its Brave Bird did over a third, but it was a one-shot. Last on the 4 is Hassel. Norvern led with Super Fang, as we set up a Calm Mind. Norvern then missed its second Super Fang, allowing us to gain their free Acid Armor. Norvern did land its third Super Fang, but it was a one-shot Draining Kiss. Dragalge survived Dazzling Gleam, and did a third with Sludge Bomb, which immediately poisoned Caramel. Dragalge went down to one more Dazzling Gleam. Haxorus outsped and took Caramel to a quarter with Iron Head, but we one-shot a Draining Kiss. Flapple was also a one-shot, leaving only Baxcalibur, who was a one-shot. Finally, it's time for Gita. We can't set up against the Spathra. It outspeeds and is a 2 KO. The Spathra thankfully set up Reflect first turn, so we were still in great health with King Gambit. For some reason, past me thought to use Drain Punch again, since it did 4 times damage to King Gambit. It did a quarter. You'd think I would have learned my lesson by now. I decided to have Caramel Terrastalize. This allowed her to survive Iron Head with above half health. We then set up a Calm Mind, as Kata cleaved left Caramel in a quarter. King Gambit was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. Evelek was also a one-shot. Gogurt survived the hit, but wasted its turn on Bulk Up, so it went down the next turn. Veluza was a one-shot, so it lasted one more. We were at half health, so I had Caramel use Drain Punch, which again did a quarter. However, this time, the health absorption might have mattered, because Glamordo's Sludge Wave took Caramel straight to 32 HP. We were living on a prayer, but Glamordo went down the next turn. Time for a foul battle against Nemona. Lakarok went first, and half of Caramel's health with a non-crit Stone Edge, as we set up Acid Armor. Stone Edge now did a quarter, so we went for Draining Kiss to get the health back. We then set up another Acid Armor, and 3 Calm Minds, before finally taking out Lakarok. Orform and Gudra were both one-shots with Dazzling Gleam. Palma outsped and did some damage with Double Shock, but was a one-shot Draining Kiss. The Dunsparce was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam, leaving only Quacklevolt, who of course could not do that much damage to Aqua Step and was a one-shot. That's one story done. Next is Director Clavel. We went for 2 Calm Minds, as Oranguru used Yawn. Twice. We then had to take a few hits from Dream Eater, but once awake, we set up an Acid Armor. Oranguru was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. Abomasnow was also a one-shot. Gyarados though actually survived the hit, but couldn't do that much damage with Stone Edge, so it just went down the next turn. Poltergeist was a one-shot, but Amoonguss survived a crit Dazzling Gleam. It just went for Toxic though, so we took it out the next turn. Last is Skeldurge. It survived Dazzling Gleam at half health, but its Shadow Ball could only do a scratch, so we took it out the next turn. Time for Penny. Umbreon couldn't do that much damage with Psychic or Quick Attack, so we were able to set up 3 Calm Minds before one-shotting it. Flareon survived Dazzling Gleam, so we got taken to below half by Flare Blitz. We took a Flareon the next turn though. We then switched to Draining Kiss, which Vaporeon survived on a third. However, Vaporeon's Hydro Pump did very little damage, so it went down. Jolteon of course outsped, and tickled a little bit with Thunder, but it was a one-shot Dazzling Gleam. However, then out came Leafeon, who took Caramel to below half of the crit Leaf Blade before it went down. Last is Sylveon. It survived Dazzling Gleam, but since Sylveon was a special attacker, we only took a little damage before finishing it all. That's 2 stories done. Last is Arven. We were able to set up one Acid Armor and one Calm Mind before Greedent's Body Slam paralyzed Caramel. Despite the paralysis though, we still got in a second Calm Mind before taking out Greedent. Toad Scroll's next, and it did almost half of Caramel's health with the crit Power Whip. It also survived Draining Kiss, but its second Power Whip was pretty weak, so we took it out. The rest of our Armor team was no issue and were all one-shots. With that, we can head to Area 0, where we have to face AI Turo. For this battle, we had to replace Dazzling Gleam with Psychic, because Turo leads with Iron Moth, who double resists Fairy. We immediately terrestrialized, but Iron Moth's Sludge Wave still did a third, as we set up a Calm Mind. We went for one more Calm Mind before finally going for Psychic, which one-shot Iron Moth. Because we returned normal, next came out Iron Hands, who was a one-shot Draining Kiss. Against Iron Thorns, we set up two Acid Armors, as Iron Thorns could not do that much damage. It survived Draining Kiss though, so we used this time to set up two more Calm Minds before taking it out. Iron Jugless and Iron Bundle were both easy one-shots, so all that was left was Iron Valiant. It for some reason went for Psycho Cut, as we took it out with Psychic. We beat Pokemon Violet with only Alcremie. That was as chaotic as the last Alcremie video. Though this time, I didn't get Caramel up 20 levels before remembering a move that existed. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.